Unfortunately, I came out of uni right when the GFC hit. So
Me too.
3 months, 3 months into my full-time banking career, Bear Stearns collapsed, and that was kind of the ripple effect. And really my first lesson in resiliency, which coincidentally is very useful for my current role. And so I pivoted into a whole bunch of different banking roles, different banks themselves, traveled around the world doing that, and then asked a few of my trader friends where did they end up. And they had actually gone down the path of algorithmic trading and high frequency trading, which is all computer programming.
Yeah.
Because my dad was trained as an electrical engineer, always loved tech, always loved that side of things. And so I went back to uni to retrain. So I did that and was going to do computer programming. And then my programmer friends said, same issue. You're gonna encounter constantly being made redundant as a new language comes up, being obsolete really quickly. It's a lot of like rework, kind of a lot of tumultuous changes in your career. So I thought, no, I want something stable. What's stable in IT and security?
Indeed.
That's needed at the layer,
Yep.
bottom layer everywhere. So yeah, then I took a turn back into banking, but I was a subject matter expert on large tech and big scale M&A projects. So assessing companies or partners coming into the bank and looking at their cyber and whether or not that was going to pose a risk to the organization.
Yeah.
So things like that. And then I wanted a bit of a wild, wild west story. I was going to go down mining or healthcare. Both are industries that are not very
very aligned.
Tech, I guess, all tech savvy in terms of security. So they don't have very mature security postures a lot of the time because they're focused on different things, different outcomes for the business. So I went down the healthcare path and landed at Ramsey, and they kept me there for 5 years. It was a great company, very interesting, learnt a ton, and then went back into banking and then back into healthcare again. So
yeah.
And then along the side was in blockchain and Web3 and
indeed with bullion, right?
Crypto trading and all of that. So yeah,
a bit of everything. So as you can see, quite a broad background. You've done a lot.
Yeah.
You've done a lot. What does excite you the most? What keeps you alive during the day and doing what you do?
I think the fact that there are so many integrations between industry and technology. And seeing that based on my background, because I've been on the business lens in different verticals as well, seeing those transferable skills and seeing how connected industry really is. So that's what really excites me, drawing those connections and kind of cracking that code a little bit and creating like really creative solutions.
Indeed. Yeah, the correlation between technology, leadership, AI, like we are in a period of change, aren't we?
Yeah.
Massive period of change, and like GFC, technology, cybersecurity, and now AI, big buzzword, but like it's real. You just came back from New York, if I'm not wrong.
Yes, I did.
What's the difference that you see from here in Australia and the US market from a technology point of view, leadership point of view, but like also like the community vibes that you get there?
I can't tell too much because I am bound to, I want to, honor and have a bit of integrity with, giving the information to my organization first. But what I can say is the collaborative nature across industry within New York and within different parts of the government as well was probably the one distinguishing difference between Australia and New York particularly. New York around innovation is very collaborative between government, startups, organizations that have been established for quite some time, whereas Australia seems really fragmented. Like there's a lot of different pockets and a lot of different people trying to do the same thing, but no one's talking to each other. So I see that's great. It's great that Australians are thinking like that, but you're not going to get to your desired goal fast enough. So I think that's where we see a lot of that pace coming out of the US economy. It's because they are so collaborative. And if someone's doing something, it's not like a power grab. It's a, how can I help you? I want to join in. So that's probably the difference in culture there. And there's just the sheer collaboration and willingness to help you do and achieve your dreams.
That
Like
must be refreshing,
massive.
right?
Yeah, it's massive. And we have pockets of it here.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's harder to find.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah,
That's
the
what I see.
tall poppy syndrome in Australia is a real thing, isn't it?
It is. It really is. You see it all the time. And sometimes I don't think people realize they're doing it. I don't think it's intentional either. It's just a bred into culture.
I think it's embedded.
Yeah, it's embedded. And it's hard to break that and shake that if you're not aware that you're doing that to others.
Yeah. Did you encounter it like quite a lot of time in your career, in your journey?
Yeah, a lot. When I was younger, I wouldn't really speak up about it. And nowadays I've come to the realization that, they might not actually be aware that they're doing that. So it's more of a kind of tap on the shoulder, say, hey, you might want to think about your approach a little differently. We're all here to help. Lift each other up.
That is very true.
Yeah.
A segue on a question that I would like to ask is from a leadership perspective, you are still in a journey. You never stop learning, right?
Yeah,
but of course, like for what have you done, like becoming a C-level executive? What has been the journey? What has been the challenges? Like, what's the transition now like to become? Because you've been a CISO, you are a CISO, you are a COO, but also like you can spread across like different level at that executive level. So, what has been a journey, the challenges, which kind of advices as well will you give yourself when you started?
Yeah, I think I mean, for me, being a leader is great if you're ready for it. If you're not ready for it and you still really like being embedded in the technology or in even the operational work and not wanting to delegate, that's where it can be a struggle. So I would have maybe told my younger self to really plan that out a bit better around, okay, well, how long do you want to stay in the doing role as opposed to the leading and instructing role? Because if you jump in it too quickly, you feel like you lose some of that knowledge. There's a bit of that knowledge gap. So that would probably be something that I'd give others as advice. And then the other thing as well is to create mini versions of yourself. So really be conscious around like those in your team, like things that you do really well. You're like, okay, I do this great, but I want to now hand the torch over to someone else. So how do I do that? And how do I clearly articulate that to someone and get them trained to behave and think and do that as well, and really coach others to take on different aspects of yourself, so then you can rise again, because as a leader you never stop learning, you never stop improving, or you shouldn't. And so as you rise through different levels of leadership as well, like you might have that title, but you're going to be a very different CISO or a very different COO 2 years down the track than you were 2 years ago. So you've got to really kind of carve out bits and pieces of the role where you can elevate yourself up into that next senior level.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate the advice for everybody who want to make the step. Now, startup, CEO.
Yes.
CEO is a role that I really like.
Yeah.
But it's very underestimated and underrated, isn't it?
It is.
There's a lot to do. CISO in healthcare, but I know that you're doing much more than that.
Yeah.
What are the differences between like all the C-level position and how do you connect the dots?
Yep. So a CISO is has a very clear mandate. It's very easy.
Is it?
Easy in terms of like understanding what you need to do, right? Like you can come into work and okay, I need to align myself to, a specific framework that we've agreed on. We've done a gap assessment. I know what controls are missing. I know what to guide the team in terms of support, BAU work, whether you've got a piece of project work that you need to get done or audit findings you need to remediate, whatever it might be. It's very clear what your mandate is. When you're a COO, it's everything goes. Like it's like you can be a CTO one day, you're a CISO another day, you're a CFO another day. It's very dynamic, and you have to be very adaptive, and you have to be very resourceful in getting things done. It's a lot of talking in a startup. It's a lot of talking to regulators, depending on how you're licensed. A lot of due diligence. So there's a lot of legal work as well, especially when we're going through funding. We're potentially looking at a major listing on an exchange. I can't say too much more than that, other than that. But, prepping an organization to be ready to list on a major global exchange is a beast in itself. And all that prep work is really underestimated on what actually goes on behind the scene. But you have to have your governance, your reporting, all of that intact, board minutes, making sure that your cap table is desirable as well, which is, all that kind of stuff that you wouldn't ordinarily think a COO would handle. And that's all in the startup phase. Once you actually launch and you actually start to launch a product, then it's all around the fun stuff that a COO can do, which is, process improvement, looking at embedding AI in systems. We've done that. So we have led with an AI first team. So we've done that where we can, but there's really creative things that you can start to do with the products. And then you start to get into the relationship building and making sure that, your contracts with certain institutions are upheld. And again, it gets into all that legal fine details.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah, there's a lot to do, that's for sure.
Yeah.
AI.
Mm-hmm.
Shall we delve deeper?
Yeah, good.
Shall we?
Shall we?
All right. What do you want to talk about AI? Because we are in this period of change. It's been a buzzword forever.
Mm-hmm.
Now we are at the stage that it's not a buzzword anymore.
No.
So how do you approach AI? What do you think? How do you define AI in your day-to-day work?
Mm-hmm. So you could go, really deep and look at the history of AI, which is fun. It's it's an over 100-year-old industry, so it's been around for a long time. The difference, I guess, is the Gen AI. So that's the kind of the piece of the puzzle, piece of the AI puzzle that has just kind of taken the world by storm. And it's things that tech leaders or even tech product owners, people really close to the technology, especially in cyber, have seen AI and machine learning for quite some time,
quite a while.
For decades. So we've seen the really cool things that technology can do, but the consumer hasn't. So now it's like, I feel like it's lifting up the covers and seeing everything underneath that, have wowed us as an industry. And now the consumer's looking and going, wow, I can use this too. So I think that's really interesting, but it also means why it's getting the speed and the attention that it has now. What I would say when it comes to AI, especially in industry and organizations, is get really clear on why do you want to use it. At the end of the day, it's just another software. It's a piece of software. It's been around for a while. Yes, it's fantastic, does some great things, but like all software, it's not going to solve every problem. So you need to really understand, what problem do you want to solve? Is AI the right fit to solve this problem? If not, compare it again like you would with any other vendor comparison. AI might be a product that you compare against another tool. And you look at that. It might not be AI against AI. It might be AI against an existing tool that's been around for ages, and it's great. So I think that's really key. The other thing I've noticed in researching it more and understanding it more is there are two foundational initiatives that come up in security programs time and time again. They often don't get a lot of success because they're met with different hurdles and complexities in organizations, but also with stakeholders. And those two are foundational to have AI be successful. So the first one is data governance and data security. Having that completed in your organization, knowing where your data is, what do you want to keep, what do you want to get rid of, where do you want to store it, can it all be integrated, can it talk to each other? All of that's really crucial if you're an organization and your use case is, we've got fantastic data, we could potentially have a new revenue stream, and AI might be able to help us with that. So if that's your use case, data governance is essential for you. If you're using AI just as a productivity tool throughout your organization, the other key piece is access management and access control, because that's a piece as well that's it's not well understood in how complicated that can get, and how easy it is to, once you've completed that initiative and completed that program of work, how easy it is to deviate from good again and drift from all the good work you did if you don't have something continuously monitoring and automating, bringing you back to baseline and what your security baseline, agreed security baseline is. If you don't have that automated, you're going to drift really quickly again. It's just so much to manage because you're looking at your user profiles, what's normal for a particular user, what do they have access to, how do they interact with company assets and resources, all of that, and then looking at access and regularly reviewing, do they have too much access? Let's get rid of that. Or do they need to change their access? All of that stuff. It's massive. But if you don't have that established well within your organization and you layer on top an AI productivity tool, it's a really easy test. You can just test, can I get AI to give me a document that I should not see? And a lot of the time it will, because those access controls and access to certain areas in your organization, whether it's SharePoint folders or file shares, it's not locked down well.
Yeah. Great advice from a security point of view, that's for sure. And industries, you see many.
Yep.
Right? The difference that you see, like which industry is going to be disrupt, let's use this buzzword again, but like it's
by AI.
By AI.
Probably the help desk industry, which tend to be what a lot of organizations have outsourced. Like they've outsourced their call centers, outsourced help desk, IT support. I think that could be disrupted by AI. You could probably have a chatbot do that a little bit better. So there's that industry. I think I'm not sure whether it's going to change computer programming with vibe coding. There's a lot of that happening. I was at Falcon in Vegas, and they put up on the screen. It was really funny that because I always say AI amplifies you. So if you're great and you do your job really well, AI is going to show how great you are. If you're not so great,
well, there's going to be a problem, right?
Well, yeah, it's going to highlight that. Yeah, you're producing, what the industry is now calling AI slop, right? So, but they showed up on the screen about how someone had obviously tried to vibe code a malicious piece of software, and clearly not a programmer or anything, and they had their name, their username, and location in there, and the code wasn't great. So I worry about malicious actors that are really great at creating malicious code are probably going to use AI really well. But in terms of, programming it overall, I think it's going to change the way programmers have to operate.
Yeah.
And the good ones will probably just be able to do a lot more with a lot less time.
That's kind of like a trend at any level, to be honest.
Yeah.
You're going to be asked to do more with less.
Yes.
And in less time.
Well,
right?
that's been a trend for a while. Like and always comes up as the economy goes through shifts and changes and ups and downs. Generally, when you're in a down, that's what all organizations are going to expect from you. And, the top performers are going to adhere to that and do that and jump on board. And the ones that aren't, well, AI could actually potentially help them, do that.
Yeah. No, great advice again. By the way, if anyone has any question, feel free, raise your hand, pop it in the chat, and we're going to go through that. In terms of, let's shift from technology to people leadership. To be a great leader, you say, of course, learn how to delegate and everything, but like how the current technology shift is changing the leadership level. What leaders need to focus on more right now from a people perspective?
Ensuring the team feels as though they're supported, I think, is number one. I think with a lot of change and a lot of technology change, it can cause, I guess, worry in some individuals. So making sure that they're comfortable with that, upskilling them where you see that they, being a bit proactive with your team as well and understanding, okay, well, I need these types of skills. I've got some great people. I think these particular ones in my team could learn that skill. So I'm going to actively find courses for them and suggest that to them. So that's probably one. I think when people feel under the pump and they don't have a lot of time, they don't want to impose and ask for time off to go and do education, but it's really important to upskill, especially during this time of change. The other thing as well is I think AI has got the real power to bring back human-centric leadership and human-centric relationships because it can get us done with a lot of the busy work. It can allow us then to have that time to have that human connection again and build those relationships. through in-person conversation and in-person interaction and all that kind of stuff.
You can't really change that, can we?
No.
That's I mean, we always say that, like, if you use AI and technology well, it's just an enabler, right? It should be. It should be.
Yeah.
So it should. You never know, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think there we go. We got a question here. All right, River, do you think the future technologies is more a generalist or a highly specialized?
I think it's going towards generalist, to be honest. I think we'll see more generalists. And if you can bring in other skill sets from different industry verticals, not just from technology, and blend that into a concept or an idea or some way to improve operations or a product or, create a new revenue stream, I think that's going to have a lot of longevity.
Yeah. I completely agree.
Yeah.
And that's something at any level, isn't it?
Yeah.
Not only at executive, but of course, a good executive need to be able to play around across like different levels. But
different. Absolutely. Because everything connects, right? So
Indeed.
In an organization, it's all connected. You don't want to have silos everywhere. And I feel if you're going to have really specialist industries, that's a silo.
Silo is dead, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is. Like the trend is collaboration, which I think is great.
Yeah, I agree. And
because I think that's where innovation comes from.
100%.
The bridging of different departments and the bridging of different industries. That's where innovation.
Community, right? That's why we're here.
Yeah.
How do you keep yourself up to date with everything, across security, across AI, across tech, across? We'll talk about Web3 later, but we can go through that if you're interested.
So I have a number of Signal channels that I'm in. I'm very fortunate to have some fantastic people in there, and we're constantly sharing ideas. A few really cool Twitter accounts that I follow as well, and then always in the news. I'm always kind of trying to keep up with new technology. Conferences as well are a really good way to see what's out there. And podcasts. Yeah.
Any advice on podcast conferences, etc.? Apart from ours?
Yeah. This one. Should I think? The Diary of a CEO.
Okay, yeah.
So Stephen, I forget his last name escapes me. But who he speaks to is great because you often get ideas. They sometimes might be in tech or they're using technology within their fields, and you're like, oh, that's interesting. And then you might go down a rabbit hole and start to have a look at that. Tucker Carlson, surprisingly, as well. So he interviews some very interesting people. And Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan has interviewed some fantastic professors in AI. Especially ones that get quite quirky with the idea that it's a bit doom and gloomy, and there's a few controversial ones.
Yeah, is a master in that, isn't it?
Exactly. So I think having those controversial conversations are interesting though, because it gives you new perspectives to challenge yourself, challenge your own thinking. And I've always believed that if you can change my mind, okay, great. Like, why not?
Debate, right?
Yeah, why not?
That's what it's for.
Yeah,
exactly. Oh, we got another two. So Horatius, so the Australian hiring market seems to be struggling with generalists though. So with recruiter asking to trim resume to fit the mold, how do you reconcile the two?
I mean, in the past, because my background as well spans so many things, that is something that you won't get every hiring manager seeing the value in that, unfortunately. You will have to prove yourself. So sometimes you do need to take some advice from recruitment firms around tailoring your CV specific to a role, and having a few doing that. So you're not fudging anything in there, but you're just really highlighting things that apply to that particular role.
Yeah. That is true from a recruiter's perspective. Absolutely right. It's not about tailoring everything, but definitely more quality, less quantity.
Yeah.
Right.
And then it's the interview process is where you kind of shine. And then that's where you can verbally explain, what you've done in your background and how it applies and, demonstrate that. And tell that story. So that's not easy to convey on on a page.
Especially your background. God, must be hard.
Yeah.
Hope you answered the question, Ray.
Yeah, thank you.
Nodding. And I got another 2 questions from Pankaj. So, do you see AI helping solve the skills shortage within specific sector areas like regional, rural, remote, which cannot track and retain the resources? And the other one, well, we'll get that later.
So AI tracking resources?
Yeah.
Like
solve the skills shortage within
to solve the skill shortage. Potentially, yeah. I don't think it's there yet. I still think it really needs to be joined at the hip with a human. I mean, take Deloitte's blunder in the news, and there's fantastic people at Deloitte.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like I say, it amplifies who you are in there. And I think we really need to be careful around not relying on it too much, because you will lose your creativity as a human being. And that's what really distinguishes us from, as a species, as, you know, innovators. It's our brain power. And AI will help you get there faster, but it's not going to be there to replace you, I don't think. Agents to do little things, sure, definitely. But they're not there yet.
Yeah.
You can't just let them go for an 8-hour day and do a work day.
Yeah.
To
that is
micromanage
very true, right?
You have to micromanage them. And if I have to micromanage a bunch of agents, well, it's defeating the purpose.
Right. Better micromanage like a bunch of graduates then, and like you
much rather
them up.
so much rather invest in humans.
Yeah.
And help them, especially in, you know, economic times of crisis, where, you know, we're seeing reports of, you know, large numbers of unemployment rates and things like that. If you can support a human, it's much better to do that and train them to use AI so that, you know, they get up to speed faster.
100%. In terms of that, which kind of advice would you give someone approaching the job market right now as a junior? Because there's so many skills, so many opportunity to learn and upskill, but like as we say, silos are dead, or are dying. So which kind of advice in terms of like what should they focus on to approach the job market?
So I guess when I did it first out of uni, I researched what industries needed talent, and just from newspaper articles and things like that. So, you know, looking at, you know, where were areas that were keeping candidates. So it's part of the reason why I went to State Street Bank, because a lot of the other big banks were slashing jobs, and it was really
daunting.
Yeah, well, and just a bit worrying. Like you get a job, you're like, okay, well, if I'm new and junior, of course I'm first off the chopping block. So you want that longevity and that stability. So I would research, you know, organizations where there was a lot of retention, and just being a bit proactive around where you want to work and research that and what are those skills that are needed.
Excellent. All right, let's dig in the other area that you like a lot, so Web3.
Yes.
All right, where are we at? Because it's been around forever.
Yep.
It's been a buzzword. You're one of the few that actually dig deeper and done stuff in that. We're still doing it with Bullion, but tell me more. Where are we at right now?
Look, I think there's a lot of projects that have died off. Since it's been around for several years now, there's a lot of data now to determine how to assess a project accurately and determine whether they're a scam. So that's gotten a lot better as people learn about the industry. I think the wave of meme coins is dead. It's caused a lot of grief. It was basically gambling.
It was.
Gambling with digital images.
To the moon.
Pretty much. So yeah, I think there's cryptocurrency, and then there's the actual technology that underpins it. So blockchain is a technology that underpins it, and that's been around for ages. So, you know, blockchain technology is something that a lot of industries can see the benefits of it, because it's, you know, a ledger online. There's efficiency by kind of sharing resources and outsourcing that, and, you know, providing rewards to that, all that kind of stuff. So I see that it definitely has massive potential to disrupt traditional banking and financial systems, legacy financial systems, which a lot of them exist and need to be modernized. I see them going down the blockchain path, to be honest.
Yeah, and in developing countries is a big deal as well.
Massive.
Is helping a lot. Like
they've been the debanked and unbanked for so long, and now they've got the technology within their grasp to actually give their citizens a way to financially transact with each other.
Yeah. How do you understand if a project is good or not?
Same way that we would assess. So I used to work for a hedge fund. My particular remit was small cap mining stocks and healthcare stocks. So the same way you would assess a stock, it's looking at the team. Team is foundational. Who are they? Like, what have they done previously? Have they been involved in any failed or scammy projects previously? So researching the team is number one. It's a bit of a red flag to me when I see projects not willing to dox their team. So publicly announce who are their team, who are their developers. That's a red flag to me. The other one is, what is their vision? What are they trying to achieve? What problem are they trying to solve? And if that is something that's already been solved by somebody else, well, what's their distinguishing difference? Because they could just be on their journey of raising funds and trying to get ahead. And yeah, they may have a way better play once they launch. So definitely those are two factors that I'd look for in early with them. And then the other thing as well is if they already have investment from others, who's investing in them already?
All right, so they got investment.
Yeah, so a lot of projects will have investment from somewhere. They might be bootstrapping it. It might be R&D grants from the government, or it might be friends and family, or they may have had a particular family office or venture capitalist already backing them. So it's understanding who are they and what have they backed previously. If it's an institution that's backing them, what have they backed previously and did it succeed? Because then you can really assess, well, are those venture capital? Yeah, well, so are they choosing well, right?
Yeah.
So you're testing their own DD process without having to do it yourself.
Yeah. And how do you see it in Australia? Is died off a little bit, or is coming back again?
There's definitely a massive community, Web3 community, and a lot of fantastic Australian founders and organizations really doing great work. The struggle a lot of them have, and I'm in multiple groups where I see this time and again with the feedback from founders and CEOs, is the struggle to find talent in Australia. So they want the talent in Australia. It's really hard to find it. So they sometimes are forced to go and relocate overseas to build the team. Yeah. So that's where I see
Where do you find the best talent? Or where is it?
We use specialized recruiters. So
which one?
So there are Web3, specifically only Web3 recruiters.
Like which area, like geographically?
They're in London, the ones we use. And they're fantastic. Like they've found some really great people for us really quickly. And in Web3, you need that because it's an industry that's still a little opaque. So quite difficult to verify whether somebody is a top good performer or they did a good job, right? Like you can't just go call up the founder of that project like, hey, did they?
They're good.
Did they perform? Did they perform or not? Like, we've had that issue before where we had, before my time, but at the startup. Previous marketing manager had multiple jobs and we were working for multiple companies, so bringing in multiple paychecks, and we thought they were, or the founders at the time thought they were dedicated to them, not so much. So that is harder. So you can't really recruit yourself. So it's all, if you're recruiting yourself, it's word of mouth through the industry and through your friends that you trust in Web3. And if it's not, then it's, if you can't, it's a recruiter.
That makes sense.
Best bet.
No, that makes sense. One question, personal, like, how do you keep up with everything?
How do I keep up with
it? The time management must be like there, but like, how do you schedule, right?
You really have to schedule and be strict with yourself when you're working on something. I'm lucky that, so the startup work is after Australian hours, so which is good because we're in New York and London time zones. So majority of the work is there. We might have some early morning meetings or some notes that come through our exec team around what we need to focus on for the week, and that kind of sets us up for the day. So, then we trickle on with that. But yeah, majority of the work is done during New York and London hours, which is good. And then everything else, because there's just so much on, it's scheduling. You really have to plan it out in your calendar. I usually plan it out on a weekend, what I'm going to do. And if I miss something, don't just leave it, reschedule it. So,
go back and
or
fix
if
it up
something
again.
took longer than you thought it was going to take, like, okay, extend that schedule, and then, whatever's missed, have to reschedule, find another time.
Yeah.
Do that.
Mistakes in your journey. What's the biggest one that make you learn? That you can share, of course.
Yeah, no, I'm trying to think of one that will be useful for the audience as well. I think it took me a while to learn to say no to things. So I was so eager to do so much and do everything. And in doing that, and if you get into a pattern of saying yes, 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 and you're going to do it, and then you miss deadlines or miss a promised timeline, that erodes trust. So learning that earlier would have been great, because I probably would have been further ahead than I am right now. But
you're doing all right. You're doing all right.
No, but honestly, like, it's a game changer. Like, learning how to say no. And I had a really great mentor, friend, and boss who taught me that, and he was really strict on us. Because we were in consulting and we were working for the client, and they were saying, always try to circumvent the consulting firm and come direct to the ones they knew were high performers and ask us, oh, can you do this as well?
No.
And he would step in and say, no. I'm like, but I really want to. Like, I want to help. He's like, no, we've got a job to do. This is, if they want to do that afterwards and we've got time, we'll do it. But, don't commit to something and then not be able to deliver it.
Yeah, I mean, that's what you learn, right?
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Well, conscious of your time, guys, has been amazing. If there's no other question, I would like, River, thank you very much.
Thank you.
It's been a pleasure. It's always a pleasure. And feel free to connect. We have another question. Let's see. No, it was just an applause. And I follow up with that. Thank you. No, feel free to connect with River, of course, if you have any question. As she said, like, she's very embedded in the community. Any question about, advices, etc., at executive level, etc., more than happy to. And thank you again.
Thank
and
you.
The link is going to be shared in the lounge on YouTube. And if you need anything, just ask us. Okay, River.
Thank you very much.